Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Leading on the Frontlines podcast with me, Dan Hornacek, your host. Glad to see you guys back. Hope you've enjoyed the previous podcast. I'm really excited to kind of see the library of content grow. It's been pretty exciting to see that each week grow and grow like that, and seeing the views go up and the listens go up. So I appreciate you guys listening. Please review and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the algorithm. And check me out on Instagram and YouTube if you want to see my pretty face. I am on there, so if you want to watch me talk, you can do that. So also follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, as I do a lot of engaging and whatnot on that platform as well. So again, thanks for being here. Excited to talk about some more leadership type stuff for you. So I know I've mentioned a couple times we're kind of coming into the holiday season. Thanksgiving was last week. I hope everybody had a good holiday. With that, a lot of people in logistics style companies, retail, things of that nature. Really, I mean, any and everybody is really affected by the holidays, and I think it's one of two ways. It's either really slow or it's really busy. I myself in the insurance industry thought I'd be pretty slow, and surprisingly, I've been extremely busy this year. Compared to last year, it's a complete 180. So, which is a good thing, but I know it can still be challenging on either side of that. So I can speak to when I was at FedEx. I know it's full bore peak season right now, and so everyone working in for the post office, UPS, FedEx, DHL. I know all you guys are cranking right now, and so good for you. Keep it up. And I know retail stores, restaurants, things like that are all really busy. So for those folks, my prayers are with you. For everybody else who's maybe affected from holiday slowdowns, it could just be kind of a challenge to keep your team motivated and keep yourself motivated through this time, not wanting to be at work and things like that. So that's a challenge as well. So with that thought in mind, I kind of wanted to talk about the stressors that come with the holiday season. When I was with FedEx, you do a lot of preparation for what we call peak season. So, it's just kind of getting ready for the busy time of year. Obviously, with Christmas and e-commerce and Amazon and everything, it's extremely, extremely busy post Thanksgiving. Black Friday, obviously, is the beginning of everything. And, when I was there, I remember the planning portion for peak season started in August. So that's kind of how big of a deal it actually is, that we dedicated essentially 4 months to planning just for essentially a 5 or 6 week period up to Christmas Eve. It just dramatically drops off after Christmas Eve. So, I understand that right now everyone's kind of in the thick of everything if you are, on the busy end of everything. So, that being said, you've done all this prep work, and now you've begun kind of the descent into hell, as we used to call it, in FedEx. And it's kind of strange because my mentor at this period of time was like the prep. He used to tell me the prep is done, right? You can't prep anymore. At this point, it's pretty much adapt and to try to overcome if something failed in the planning process, or if you forgot to do something, or if there's something that wasn't planned for. It's kind of at this point just figure it out on the fly, make it work for the time being. And that puts a lot of stress on people who are in leadership or management positions, because you have to make calls on the fly, and it's really difficult, because when you're doing things like that, it really kind of tests your mettle as a manager, and that can be something that's difficult, especially if you've never been put in a type of position where you've had to make that decision or those decisions on a like right now basis. I remember when I first was promoted into an operations management position, it was right before this was while I was with FedEx. This was right before peak season, and I was put in this position quite a few times, and to say anxiety runs high during that period of time, just let alone just because it's busy, but on top of the fact that it's also peak season, the busiest time of the year, where if you do fall behind, it's something where you're never going to get caught up. So I understand the stressors that come with that. So this isn't me today. I'm not going to be sitting here telling you, tips and tricks and all this other stuff to. So this week isn't about me giving you tips and tricks and everything. This week is specifically more so just me validating the fact that I understand that you're going through a lot, and you're going to be just fine, right? There was same guy, same mentor. His name was Tony. I remember him seeing me extremely stressed out during my first peak season, and you want to get it right. You don't want to fail. You don't want to be that person within the company or the team, and you want to do the right thing. You want to make the right decisions. You want to keep everything smooth for everybody. Everyone else is stressed out too. They've got other things on their mind. They don't want to be at work, and that holds a lot of weight on managers' shoulders, and I understand that. And one thing he said to me during a period where he randomly showed up in the middle of a sort, and unannounced, I wasn't aware he was coming in, and he saw me in that same place, and he says to me, "Dan, they're only boxes, and you need to remember that." And that really it really helped ground me. And so my message to you this week is to stay grounded. Understand that, yes, not dismissing any feelings of overwhelm or anxiety or frustration towards customers, because I understand how people can be, unfortunately. But it's something where in those moments where you need a breath, right? Or you need a moment and you really can't get one because you're in the thick of whatever, in the middle of the day, in restaurants, if it's like the peak period of time for dinner or lunch, in retail, if it's just the busy part of the day or a weekend, things like that. Just tell yourself, it's just clothing, it's just food, it's just whatever it might be. We're on, in a way, we're on autopilot. Like I said, you're following plans that have been put in place already. So yes, you need to adapt. Yes, you need to stay on your game and try to perform the best you can. But just remember that everything's going to be okay. Right? And I laugh because I can just remember back to days where it just felt like the sort, right, for sorting packages was never going to end. It was just maybe it was a bad sort, maybe there was equipment malfunctions, and it was just like, this is never going to end. And I used to tell myself, like, there will be that last box on the conveyor. That's what I used to tell myself, because it's difficult. It's difficult when you're sitting there and things are kind of falling apart around you, and or it's just so busy that you can't even think straight. And it really helps to keep your feet on the floor, and it gives you 30 seconds of solace in being able to say to yourself, like, it's going to be okay. Today will end, right? The shift will end. We will get through this, and then we can take a deep breath and come in tomorrow. So for everybody who's out there fighting the good fight, just know that I appreciate everything that you guys do, and try to pay it forward. It's difficult for everybody right now, especially for, like I said, for people in management positions, and take that and give it to others. So when you're not at work and you're, let's say, at a restaurant or doing your holiday shopping, things like that, just remember that those feelings you're feeling are the same feelings that other people are feeling too. And let's pay forward the politeness that we want in our every single day at work. I think that'll go a long way. If we all do that, I think will make a significant impact for everybody else around the country. So I know I don't have that big of a spread. Not a lot of people are going to hear that message, but I think it's still important to say, because I think as individuals we can make a big difference in other people's lives. So that being said, just like I said before, I just want everyone to know that if you're not in it yet, I'm sure you will be very soon into the busy season. And I'm here for support, so feel free to DM me on Instagram or on X, comment on YouTube, comment on my posts on Instagram, or feel free to leave a review on the podcast. I'm here for you. Use me as support. be more than happy to be just an ear to vent to as well. So look forward to seeing what the holiday season brings this year, and to anybody who's so just keep at it. And like I said, check out my past episodes if you need some tips and tricks on things to kind of get your staff back where they need to be, or if you're just kind of at a loss. So again, glad you guys were listening to this podcast. Welcome to the holiday season. I'm here with you guys, and look forward to chatting next week. Again, this is Leading on the Front Lines, Dan Hornacek. Follow me on Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter. And if you'd like to watch the podcast, check out the YouTube Leading on the Front Lines, and again on X, Leading the Front. So look forward to next week. Hope you guys have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.